Hello everyone, alecandstuff here. I figured since we are in what I call the dry period for game releases, for obvious reasons, I thought it would be fun to list off and discuss my personal top 10 games I'm excited to play this year in the form of a mini-series in which I'll be posting one video every Saturday and Sunday until we reach the end. Check below in the description of this video for a link to the playlist where you can watch each video as it's released until we get to number 1. So let's get things started. Flying in at number 9 on the list is a game I actually got to spend some time and play during my time at E3 this year, and that game is Star Fox Zero. Star Fox Zero is the game that many people were very excited to hear more about since its very small tease during Nintendo's digital event at last year's E3. Thankfully, the game did get revealed this year and received surprisingly mixed feedback. Whether it be about the lackluster visuals to the almost forced use of the gamepad, fans found some things to complain about following the game's reveal. Despite the split reaction from the fans, I am the type to hold my judgment until the game's release. However, I do have some things to say about my time with it during E3. First of all, as I stated before, the gamepad's functionality almost feels forced. Not to come across wrong, I am a fan of the gamepad whenever its incorporation lends itself to the gameplay, but Star Fox just does not feel like that kind of game to me. Star Fox is a game that's heavily action-based and almost always has a lot of action going on screen. So naturally, taking your eyes off the screen almost feels like you're being taken out of the action to do something that is just as well done through the analog sticks. For those that don't know, Star Fox's gamepad functionality so far is only used for aiming during certain cinematic sequences in fights. The explanation being given so far is that the team wants to give off a more cinematic view for the TV screen, which is almost counterintuitive since in order to appreciate this cinematic view you're given, you would need to avert your eyes from the action going down on the gamepad, and seems only to serve people watching you play in the same room. This can also be a bother because they happen mid-fight, and I wouldn't mind this if not for the fact that there's no option to use just one or the other. Even more curious is the absence of an online multiplayer mode. This is even more puzzling because of the fact that games before it did include this, like Star Fox Command. Star Fox Command had an amazing online multiplayer mode that operated on very little lag with easy to join matches, and this was on the original DS. It just seems like it would be a no-brainer to me that an online mode be included, especially considering the much larger online infrastructure Nintendo has built for the Wii U in comparison. However, despite all of this, the game proved to play really well. It just felt like classic Star Fox, which is great. But for me, most of all, the music is fantastic. Nintendo had it playing on a looped playlist at their booth, and I was immediately blown away. It had this huge sound to it, and it almost felt like it belonged in a theme park ride or a sci-fi movie. I encourage you to do some research for yourself. That is just how great this theme is. Star Fox Zero is looking to be another amazing title for the series, and for the Wii U. And seeing as how we have Platinum Games working on the project, I can safely say that I am quite optimistic to see how this game turns out. It's got a lot to live up to if fans' expectations say anything, and I think Platinum Games is just the right team to get the job done. But for me, all I can say is,
do a barrel roll!
that the material from planet to planet doesn't differ enough to constitute the exploration. One interesting thing to note about this game is its incorporation of multiplayer. Other initial thoughts that I have right now is this middle section right here is going to be a major choke point. So if you can get your team to push past this, it would be a lot easier to